Hey guys, Chef Earl here. Today I'm making apple cider muffins. Perfect time of year for them. It's about ready to turn fall. If you guys went outside today, you can smell the crispness of the air, that almost slightly cooled air brush against your skin. It's time. Apples are starting to show up on the trees. You're starting to see apple cider out in the grocery store. Pumpkin spice is already out in every dessert and every coffee store. So let's get real. It's time for sweatshirt weather, right? All right. So let's make some apple cider muffins together. This is such an easy recipe because most of your dry ingredients are coming from a box mix. How wonderful is this? So when you guys come in next week, you're going to have a cake mix at your all stations, and that will be all of your dry ingredients. That's all you'll need. It also calls for 2 spices, cinnamon and nutmeg. I think we know those as like pie spices, apple pie spices. Let's get real. For me, it's the fall weather spices. Those are the spices I bring out most of the time for all of my baking. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to take you off of my face and sit you down here. There we go. All right. So I've chopped a 1/2 cup of apples for this recipe. You could use cinnamon applesauce. That would actually be really good. If you are a textured person, or maybe you have, like I have a toddler at home. If you have younger siblings that don't really like chunky stuff, then apple cider, cinnamon applesauce may be a good alternative or substitute for this. So as you can see, I'm just cutting up my apples into dices. And I have a 1/2 cup right here. So I've already done that. I've also preheated my oven to 325. Unlike cookies or scones or biscuits, 325 is the correct, perfect temperature for making muffins and cupcakes. A lot of cupcake recipes will call for 350. You preheat your oven to 350, but then turning it down to 325 allows those cupcakes to rise perfectly, get that nice dome shape. All right, so I have my cake mix. I love the smell of cake mix. I could have a candle of that. I'm going to add my 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. I have a 1/2 teaspoon, so I'm going to do 2 of those. Yes, I am heaping these. I'm not leveling these off because I'm going to add just a little bit more because this is just to spice it up. My spices won't hinder anything. Now I'm going to do 1/4 of nutmeg. If I don't level it off, that's okay. It's just making it a little more spicy. Not spicy like Mexican, but more flavor and spice. So I have my nutmeg and I have my cinnamon with my cake mix that already has our leavening agent, baking soda, in it. That's why we don't need to add like baking soda or baking powder to this. I'm going to stir it up to incorporate it. Don't make a mess like Chef Earl did. Like that sound effect. All right, so I've incorporated my seasonings, and now you can kind of see that it's changed a little bit in color, a little darker. I'm going to add my 1 cup of apple cider. Now, say you can't find apple cider in the store right now. You could use apple juice and just add a little more seasoning like I did on the spices, okay? So I'm going to add my 1 cup of apple cider. I'm going to add my 3 eggs. I'm actually going to add them to my liquid measuring cup so that way go. If the shells are not the strongest and I get a shell in there, I can see it. But we are good to go. So I have my 3 eggs. And then my vegetable oil. Sorry, had to run off camera and get that. So I have my 1/2 cup of oil. I'm going to mix this up with a wooden spoon. You could use your KitchenAid right there. But since I already put it in all this, why not mix it up in here? It smells so good. Scraping the sides, making sure I'm incorporating as much as possible. There we go. Scraping the sides again. I get all that ingredients in there, right, guys? And then I'm going to add my 1/2 cup of chopped. I'm going to add a little more. I probably added right here a cup. I like chunky, so since I'm giving these out to the teachers, why not? All right, so you see my ingredients. They're in there. There we go. I'm going to move this out of the way. Give myself a little better workspace. And then I have a muffin tin that I've sprayed with canola oil inside each cup. I don't spray the actual cups inside because sometimes they get sticky and residue happen. So I always use a muffin tin. I've sprayed the muffin papers so that once they bake and we are serving them, you're not losing half the batter or half of your muffin sticking to the muffin papers, or the muffin cups. All right, I'm going to scoop my muffins into it. I'm trying not to make a big mess because if you get drops on your muffin pan, they'll just end up burning. And it's just not fun to try to clean. This is going to make a little more than 12. Oops, I'm making messes. All right. Goodness. Got a little violent with that one. All I'm doing right now is pushing my cupcake paper out. That way it doesn't kind of stick to the sides. I am going to add a little more to some. I don't want to add too much. but just enough to top it off. All right, we are ready to go, guys. This looks so good. I wish you could smell it. I can't wait for you guys to make them when you get back to school. This is going to be so fun. All right, let me wash off my hands, wipe them off. Gross, gross, gross. Here we go. And then here's our muffins ready to go into 325 degrees for 15 to 17 minutes. All right? So, you guys, I'm going to throw these in the oven. You'll come back here in just a bit and see my finished product. I'll see you guys.